I got an email last week from a woman who said, I have something that I want to send you. How do I send this to you safely? And then she said, do you have any children? I said, no children, just cats. And she said, okay, good, because this...
Wait. Pete knows what's up. Beepy.
All right. So we got that email. She said, do you have any kids? I said, no. And she's like, good. This object has been responsible for pulling babies out of cribs and causing miscarriages. So, of course, I said, well, I need to know more about this. And this just arrived today. This just arrived from Texas.
Read the note. Usually when people send us things, we ask them to include a note. There's a couple different reasons for this. One, it's good for us to have physical evidence that they sent us stuff. And then also it's good to get a personal account, basically, of what is going on with the object itself.
Okay, all right. So January 15th, 2017. This book and its attachment was aggressive towards my friend and the people of their household, particularly its infants and unborn babies that this book is after.
That's really fucked up.
Yikes. My friend sought me to find a safe place for the book, and trusting the spells inside wouldn't be practiced. So I came to you to either bind or protect these contents. The previous owner told me of their experience. Doorknobs rattling, doors opening, voices, steps on the ceiling, a baby being pulled or yanked off of the bed by its feet. They informed me that they moved from Los Angeles internationally, leaving the book locked away in the attic. However, when they came to their new home, the book was stowed in the bookshelf.
So they got rid of it and it mysteriously wound up back
showed
on the book
up in their
shelf.
home.
Okay.
Interesting comment from the last sentence written is that the book didn't make an appearance on the shelf until a mother 5 months pregnant moved in with her baby. And it was the baby that was pulled from the bed. Myself, the current owner, has adults and animals in my home, which I can attest to haven't seen any activity. The books remained in the trunk of my car. However, eerie vibrations are present on occasion. If you're interested in this item, here you go. Please keep it safe from the wrong hands. An oddity such as this could fascinate a curious individual if it were to be in the wrong hands. P.S. When transporting this book from the former owner to myself, their vehicle failed to start and the charge on their phone went completely cut to 0%.
Which is very familiar, especially with some of the objects we have, like...
Oh, this is
like
interesting.
Billy, for instance, whose head popped out of the bag.
Billy comes out when he wants to now. We just don't even think about it anymore.
He asked this week for Oreos. So he's got some of those in there. He's got some coffee beans, some cigarettes, a cigar.
So this is interesting. So this was written on the 15th of January. And there's another note here from the 24th of January. I was going to keep another piece of information to myself due to not knowing if the book's attachment is responsible or not. However, it might be relevant to whoever wishes to study this thing. The breaking down of the previous owner to finally dismiss themselves of carrying over the book was due to the pregnant woman losing her 5-month child. Apparently, the womb with the offspring was being forced out of her. This miscarriage was excruciating and the mother almost didn't make it. She is damaged permanently, doctors say. The child was forced as if being pulled out. Good luck, friends.
Ew. Ew. Let me see that.
She didn't put her last name on it, so it's okay. It's a little spooky, huh?
So it's come wrapped up in what looks like a scarf.
Yeah. I told her to wrap it in a piece of fabric, sprinkle it with some kosher salt, and then bind it up with some twine or some yarn.
Okay. Let's see. Can we get let's get all angles of it. In fact, let's take some pictures too. When we first pulled it out, my initial reaction was nausea. Like I felt really nauseous to the point where we decided to put it back into the bag and then wait for a couple hours because you never know. It smells awful. It smells like cat pee. Don't you think? That smells like cat pee. The pages themselves smell. They have. This is weird, but I mean, here it's kind of an interesting aspect of what we do when we first get stuff. Like the first things you have to go by are like what the notes include, what what it's wrapped in, what the handwriting looks like, and like one of the biggest things that you can kind of like take into consideration a lot of the time is the smell. As weird as that sounds, a lot of the things we have specific smells, and like as far as paranormal research goes, if you want to think about the way that a lot of people view demonic infestations, there are smells that are often included, like the smell of sulfur or rotting meat or feces or even urine to a certain extent. Those are things that you don't want to smell when you're dealing with like hauntings, because they're usually not associated with positivity, as opposed to smells like roses and flowers and perfumes, which are often associated with saints and like very positive things. This is weird because the pages smell sweet, really sweet. But this definitely smells like cat pee. And it could be because a cat peed on the scarf. It's definitely possible, but we're going to open it now. So I'm going to hand this over. So when you told her to send it over, you said wrap it in a piece of fabric and put some
Yeah, I said use some old
salt?
fabric, put some kosher salt in it, and then as soon as you have sent this thing out the door, go home, pour some kosher salt in your bathtub, take a shower, and stand in it.
That's a good idea.
I said if she still experiences some stuff after this, let us know, and we would be glad to
Well, hold on.
help out.
First thing that I noticed is it was a public library book.
Los Angeles Public Library. Oh, wow, look at that. Servants of the Devil.
Can you give me a shot of it from the back? Oh my god, it's the library cards.
Oh, it does. It still has a library card. Venice Branch. 1973. It's just an old book about witchcraft. It's got some spells in it. Yeah, lots of the old.
Oh, it's awesome. Wait, hold that back up again. Let me see that. Could flip through it right like that.
It's a kid's book, is what it is. It's a children's book that has actual
Spells included in it?
ceremonies and feasts. It's got talismans in it. A recipe for a magical ointment. Take the fat from the bodies of young children, boil the fat in a water.
Wait, this is a children's book?
Yeah. It's like an old school exploitive book to scare kids.
Yeah,
they don't really make them
shock shock book, right?
They don't really make them much anymore.
Like exploitation kind of deal.
Yeah, protections from the evil eye, how to hunt witches. The last time that this book was checked out was June 18th, 1993.
Will you show that to me? I wonder if any... Ooh, what are those greasy fingerprints?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, look at that. Those are their fingerprints.
Perchance by someone who's doing a magic spell.
Yeah.
Hold on. Don't move.
They don't say what these are, but in the chapters, some of them have these, right? These were actually attributed to the signatures of demons who would sign contracts with the devil. If you look, this is Father Urbain Grandier. We actually just wrote an article about it not too long ago. That's Grandier, and he was tortured to death because they found this book with Satan's signature and the signature of other demons. There's even in the back. One right there. Kind of interesting. Kind of cool that they included that, but don't say what it's for. So, another item for the museum.